Welcome to King James Wine School, the fine wine store here in Bentonville. We've almost opened a year now. Coming up this May, or the end of this May, we've been open for a year. And I thought for me personally, it was an interesting time to sort of recap what we've done, what we've tried to achieve. So first thing I look at is, are we a fine wine store and what does that mean? And I think the honest answer is yes, I'm really pushing to be a fine wine store. Because I think that is what is my speciality, and I think for the whole state of Arkansas, that's what we would like to have, is a fine wine store. But what does a fine wine store mean to you and I? For me personally, a fine wine store means customer service. Everybody who comes in gets customer service. They get one-on-one attention. We have a very limited quantity of customers who come in, which allows myself and Wendy to be able to spend time with those customers, one-on-one, talking to them, trying to find out what they're like, understanding their needs and desires is one. Two, fine wine store, for many people's minds, means expensive, overpriced, etc. Absolutely not the case. All my wines are priced exactly the same, whether it's the $10 or $15 wine or a $200, $300 wine. Exactly the same markup for all those across the board. I am not doing different markups for different price points. I try and avoid the supermarket wines, so therefore I'm making my markups the same for everything. I don't need to compete with the supermarkets, is really what we're looking at. Also for me, a fine wine store, and what is really sort of in the last 3 or 4 months I've been able to achieve, is finding wines and hunting down wines which are limited in their availability in the state of Arkansas or are not even available in the state of Arkansas. So for me, sort of take examples of wines I love. Kistler and Schaefer. Probably a lot of you understand these Napa Sonoma wines. Very, very limited quantity comes into the state. I'm always trying to hunt those down because I think they're great quality. You know, you look at something like the lovely Tempier Bandol. They're white, we have the white, the red, and the rosé. Again, we're talking 2 or 3 cases maximum. I want those in my stores, is what we're talking about. Those type of products. You know, in these other sort of price ranges, things like the Beaujolais, you know, sub 25, the Altria from Raul Perez, again, in that sub $20 price range. You know, some really fun other wines looking at, what would be some other ones, quickly, the Fleury, the Altria, the Corsican wines. So again, there's not a huge amount of those quantities made anyway, and there's very little comes into the state of Arkansas. So trying to source those type of wines, again, is what I'm looking at. Then there's other wines. Things like the Etata wines, the Vaglio wines, the Ronco, the Friuliana wines, Schippettino, Torresi. These wines I hunt down. So again, as a fine wine specialist, I want to find the best quality wines available to me. So when I go to a distributor, I speak to that distributor and say, right, in your import base, who are providing the wines for you, what else could I get access to? And these are examples of those. No one else in the state has ever asked for them. They've not even tried to locate them. And even when they're here, or I have them, to my knowledge, no one else has said, oh, I think that'd be really interesting wines to get. That to me is what a fine wine store should be. Trying to find these unique products and bring them into the store and introduce them to the customer. It's as simple as that. We also then sort of the third tier, I suppose, within the sort of the whole fine wine store aspect is trying to get those limited edition, but make them available to everybody. So my sort of philosophy is if I've got limited edition products, get on the mailing list, inform me that you're interested in those type of products or you've bought them, you will then get these mailers out before they go onto the shelf to be able to say, look, I've got these exclusive Burgundies, I've got these exclusive Chilean wines, these exclusive Italian wines, etc., that nobody else has. You get access to those before they come in. And then when they go on the shelf, then everybody else gets them. So Schaefer, Islay would be classic examples. Schaefer's Hillside Select, Schaefer's 1.5, those type of products. I get access to that, and I want to make sure that if you want to get access to it, then get on the mailing list, be informed, and then when it gets allocated out, you'll be sent an email along with 10, 15, 20 other people. First come, first serve, you get it. It's not hid at the back exclusive, restricted to people in the know. My idea is, if you want to be a customer and you love those type of wines, you can get access to them when the availability comes around. So when I look at all those types of things, fine wine store doesn't mean expensive, but it does mean great quality products across the range, whether it's $10 or $12 all the way up to $400 or $500. Curating the wine list like physically I have in here, trying to make it interesting and different from a quality point of view and a price. Also hunting down wines and finding wines for you. So if you come in and sort of say, look, I really like X or Y, I'll see whether it's available and I'll tell you if I can get it, or I'll tell you when it's going to be next in, and you can go onto the list and you can be put onto that opportunity. It's those type of things. We've got some amazing Barolos who've just come in. Again, I'm pretty much the only one who's got access to those, is what we're looking at. Because I'm excited about those types of products, and hopefully you as consumers will also be excited. So, you know, the next time you're thinking about being up in Bentonville, coming to the games, going to the museums, or online, search us out, come and visit us, meet us, Wendy and I. Our reputation is here. Our education is phenomenal. I've been in the business 25 years. Wendy's been in the business 12 years, 6 or 7 years working as a winemaker in Napa Valley. We bring together a lot of sort of quality aspects to give you the information about the wines, is what we're talking about.